What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and we back for some more of that Ali Land boxing talk, peoples. Yeah, and today we talking, is Manny Pacquiao the best of this era? Pretty controversial question. I know I'm going to get a lot of, man, you don't know what you talk about. But let's break this down real fast, man. Is Manny Pacquiao the best fighter of this era? To me, and what I'm going to base this on is strength of competition. Who did you fight? When did you fight them? And how bad did you beat them? Or what was the outcome of the victory? And I feel like the guys you would have to compare Manny Pacquiao to of this era are guys like Terence Crawford. I feel like he's one of the best of this era. You know, he's a newcomer, but he's one of the best of this era. Floyd Mayweather Jr., of course. Oscar De La Hoya. I'm missing somebody. Earl Spence Jr. I feel like he's another new guy. I feel like he's gonna be a great one when it comes to talking about legacies. You know, at welterweight. Who else? I'm missing one guy. But those guys basically, to me, are the marquee names. You can throw a couple other guys in there. Marquez, he was decent at. You know, I wouldn't really put him in there. You know, everybody I put him in there. He knocked out Pacquiao, but I don't really see him as a marquee name at welterweight. Érik Morales, you know, guys like Érik Morales, Diego Corrales. When you compare, you know, these guys to those other names, and then you say, you know, is Pacquiao the best out of that bunch, you know, of fighters I just named? To me, I would say Pacquiao beat most of those guys, number one. He beat them in better fashion than other fighters within the same weight class beat them. His skill level has carried further into his career than all of those fighters except for one, which is Floyd Mayweather Jr. And he did it in such spectacular fashion that I feel like the way he won most of those fights set his legacy. You know, it set his history up. You know, you got to see greatness. You got to see greatness play out, basically. You know, when you watch a Mayweather fight and you watch a Manny Pacquiao fight, the difference to me is when you watch a Mayweather fight, it's almost like you watch it out of spite, you know, kind of, because, you know, you watch it, you're a fan out of spite because because you feel like he's never been beaten, so he has to be the best fighter ever. But he's not exciting to watch at all. You know, there's no real drama in a Mayweather fight. There's no, you're really not expecting nobody to get knocked out, or, you know, there to be a war, or, you know, there to be, you know, some dramatic cut, or, you know, just there's really no excitement surrounding a Mayweather fight. You expect Mayweather to go in there, do what he does, win, and everybody feel like they got effed out of their money at the end of the night. And when you watch a Pacquiao fight, you're going into it expecting to see something super exciting, a knockout, most likely. One of the fastest fighters that's ever existed. And just something really dramatic to happen, you know, whether it's him getting knocked out or him knocking out his opponent, or stopping his opponent early, or, you know, putting some type of combination together that's never been seen before, throwing a punch from some awkward angle, you know, ducking a punch and knocking his opponent out like he did Ricky Hatton. There's such a different level of excitement surrounding both of those fighters. I think that's the reason Pacquiao's name will always reign supreme when they bring those two fighters up in the history books. When you say who was the best of this era, I think Pacquiao's always going to get the nod because people can go back and say, well, this, and this fight were so exciting, and I saw something I never saw before in this fight. And when you go to Floyd Mayweather, they're gonna say, well, we just saw a whole bunch of the same. And even though he wins, you just see a whole bunch of the same. There's nothing exciting. There's no drama. There's nothing spectacular going on during a Mayweather fight. Now, when you compare him to other great, what I consider great welterweights, guys that went to war within the welterweight division, there are other guys out there with even more exciting fights than Manny Pacquiao. Unfortunately, a lot of those guys' careers got cut short. Guys like Diego Corrales, we never really got to see what he would actually accomplish in the sport of boxing because everybody knows, what happened to him, unfortunately. Oscar De La Hoya, you got to see his whole career play out, and you got to see the excitement around, that the Mexican fan base brought around his career. He had some really exciting fights. But when he ran into Manny Pacquiao, he ended his career, basically. When Oscar ran into Floyd, you saw a whole bunch of the same. So I hope you get my point. I don't want to seem like I'm hating on Floyd. Floyd has done what he's done in the sport of boxing. He's made it this far without losing a fight. But you've done nothing exciting in the sport of boxing. You brought nothing to your legacy where people can point at and go, you know what? Nobody else is going to do that other than not having a loss on your record. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like that not having a loss is going to carry him that far in the boxing history books. I feel like it's going to get him so far, and then people are going to be like, you know what? These guys had much more exciting fights. These guys went to war. These guys put it all on the line, and he just went and did, a whole lot of the same. So I feel like when it comes down to the history books, people are they're gonna lean more toward fighters that excited them than fighters that just kept their O. That's my personal opinion. You can agree with it, you can not agree with it. But I just feel like when it comes to the history books, that's how it's gonna be written. The more exciting fighters are gonna be placed above Floyd Mayweather Jr. because all you ever did was, cherry pick, duck fighters at their prime, and just not lose. A lot of other fighters could have done that. They could have just not lost, but they decided to go fight, the best fight out there. They decided to go take on the next guy, 1 versus 2. They might have lost the fight, but they gave you something spectacular to remember. I'm not going to ramble on. That's Ali Land Boxing Talk for now. Hit that description box if you want some boxing gear, man. I'm an Amazon associate, so, check it out if you want to. We out of here.